Hello everyone, welcome to day 91 of playing chess every day for you. Let's find the game. Starting as white, e4. Bring our knights. Knight c3 is the move here. I could jump in. This move d4 also works. Takes, we can take like this. Maybe that was a bad move. Because, yeah, it does look like c5 is the move. Luckily I can move backwards. Still attacking the bishop. Trading could be good for me. Putting my bishop on d6 attacks this. I can also jump my knight in, which looks very strong. I think I'll jump my knight in now to attack the queen. My opponent doesn't want that. Take with the bishop to attack this and lock the bishop in. Knight comes in. It's a good move. I can play queen c4. Queen c4. If he tries to kick my queen away, we come in with check. The king goes here. If the king goes there, we have to go for queen trade. That looks okay though. We can actually pin to the queen. So don't have to worry about that right now. Pin to the queen. I can castle here. Just bring my rook. That looks like a terrible move. Let's see, bishop takes with check, but then the queen can take. It doesn't work. If the king took, we could come in with our queen, but not possible. So I could attack this pawn. We're going queen to... Actually, queen b7 attacks this and this at the same time. Looks good. Taking with the bishop isn't a threat, because the queen just takes. I can win this pawn, and I can force a queen trade, which looks good for me. Queen takes there. So this move... So let's see. I check. King goes here. We have no more checks, so not really a good move. Queen check forces a trade. Queen check is the safe option. Bishop check. There's blocks. Not sure. I'll queen trade. I'll go for the queen trade. King has no mobility. I can lock the bishop in with c4 and push the bishop back if he attacks it. I can also attack the rook. I want to get this rook off the board and bring my own. This isn't actually such an easy position. It's even. We won a pawn. No, we didn't take the pawn. We did win the pawn, but my opponent won a pawn back, so it's actually quite even right now. I can come in here with the rook, but then he can just push. I think I just make room for my king. Probably set up a3, b4. I think b4 by itself is a good move, which weakens the king a lot. So I'll play b4 probably now. This attacks the rook. If the king... If my bishop was here, it'd be a fork, but it's not possible at the moment. I think we just play b4 now. But I want to be able to retake, so I'll play a3, b4. My opponent pushes, I'll play b4 now. Pushes again. I can attack this rook, but then he can pin me. So I don't like that. Could go this way. I think I'll go this way. The king is still cut off. I come in with check. The king moves. I come in here. So I have checks here. And if this. So check. King in. Check. Actually, this is almost checkmate. This bishop move has to block. Only this square has left. If I take with the pawn, he has this move. If I take like this, he has this square, but then I come in to check. Can take this. Also just have this move. So this move, the king only has this square. Check now doesn't work. Check here isn't so good. Bishop comes in to protect this. It's a good move. I can actually push b5 here. My idea is to push b5. Actually, my opponent just blundered his rook, so... I did not see that. Moves the king. I have checks now. This pawn is pinned. This check doesn't really work that well. I can just take. Bishop steps back. And take this. So if I push, my opponent takes, but then I push. I can go for discoveries with this move. But the king comes in. I think I can just push her. I can also push this pawn. So he's trying to win this pawn. But I have checks right now. King has to go back. He can win this. That's not a big problem. This is protected, but I can force the bishop off the board. Okay, so he goes there. I can push this pawn now. And my pawn resigns. Let's have a look at this game. We played with a 79.7, my opponent with a 68.2. My opponent blundered their rook. We played like a 1300, my opponent like a 1000. e4, just normal knight to c3 after playing against this opening. Attacking the center is right. This big trade is good for me. I should have actually played f4 here, forcing the bishop away. almost trapping it. That's a mistake, because I can just slide back. The better move was actually check. Check forces the bishop back almost. Let's see the full line. Check, bishop goes back, and we just slide our queen over. We have big pressure on the opponent. Jumping the knight in was good. I should have attacked this pawn though with my bishop. Pinning's best. I could have come in with check here. Let's see. It's a very good position for me. King d8. Queen d7 trading is okay. I would take this trade. But it's not that good. The line I chose. So queen trade is the wrong idea. We lose our whole advantage. It was better to just kick the queen away. Queen's almost trapped, but it's not so easy. The queen trade isn't that good. A3 is a mistake. I should have given the check, forcing the king away. B4 is a miss. I missed checking the king because the king can't take, and if he steps here, we just have discoveries winning the rook. So the king would have to step away. Check is good. That just blunders this check. We win a pawn, but we don't actually take it. Instead we give a check. And we have this position. It's +5 for white. And my opponent just blunders their rook. We take. We win a pawn, and then we get to just push. The bishop stops promotion, but we can defend and push the other pawn. And my pawn resigns. Let's find the second game. This time we're playing as black. D4, I'll play D5. Bishop out. Could bring this knight, which looks more accurate than this knight. We could jump the knight in straight away, but it doesn't look so good. Knight jumps in. We can go for this trade. This bishop move is good, but then he can pin my knight, but then I kick, so this bishop, I don't want to let his knight in here. It will just be very strong there. So I'll challenge. If he pins, I kick. I can actually expand on this side of the board. If he goes here, we might have this move. I can play knight e4 here, which looks good. I can also push, but that would not be such a good move. He should take now probably, and he does. If he attacks, there's no way he can attack my knight except for this bishop move. I can defend my knight again with f5, which looks good, because then I also I do allow the knight in here, but I'm anchoring in the knight. Also, he just takes. I think taking with the D pawn is better. Actually, taking with the F pawn looks good because we're taking towards the center, but I think I'll take with the F pawn. It does leave my king weak, and it does double my structure, but we would have doubled it anyway. Like, I have to trade this knight off because it's so strong. This knight move is very annoying, but it doesn't actually threaten anything. This knight move doesn't threaten anything. I just attack it and then it has to move. Also, my opponent gives a check, which looks very, very good. Wow, do we just walk into checkmate? I have to step here, but then, mate, did we blunder here? Wow. If I step here, my opponent just has check. If I step here, my opponent has check. I have to go here. Then my opponent has probably check again. No. King f8. My opponent doesn't have queen checks. He does. He has queen f7, mate. I have to go to the corner here. I can't block in any way. And I have to free up my king. Okay, so we can only step up here. This way. He wins my queen. That's the point. We have to lose our queen. Otherwise we lose the checkmate. So we actually blundered here. After this knight jump, he also opened up checks, which I completely missed. I should have moved my king earlier to safety. Now in a much worse position. I can jump my knight in. Tempo on the queen. Queen just goes back. Queen comes in. Queen comes in. Threatens this check. I can double up my rooks. Almost trapping the queen here. He gives a check now, but I just step down. And he wins both of my rooks. It's a huge blunder. No matter where I go, we lose material here. The queen was almost trapped, but I had rook h8 here, I think. Then I lose the pawn, but it's not so much of a problem. This check, I step here. I step here. If he takes a check, I can block, but that's terrible. That doesn't work. I have to give up the rooks and probably resign. He can take both the rooks. No way to trap the queen here. There isn't much I can do here. My knight is pinned as well. I can't really move anything. I just have no move, so comes in no check. I can't step away because I'd lose my knight. This move, he just takes here. He takes here. I come in here, but then he just develops. Could take here, going for this, but it's not so good. I don't really have anything else. We just lose all material. Can't take that now. Could retake with the knights. But then my knight's in a terrible spot, so he just wins my pawns. Taking there actually almost traps my knight. And that just hangs my knight. I'll resign in this position. Let's look at this game. We played with an 81.9. My opponent played with a 96.4 accuracy. We played like a 1300, my opponent played like an 1850. So knight f6 is the best move. Pushing e6 is right. Trading off the bishop is good. I calculate all this. Kicking the bishop away isn't so good. c5 is actually a great move here because if he takes, we just retake or just If he doesn't take, we develop our knight. Jumping knight in is okay. He trades off. Taking with the f pawn was better. Taking with the d pawn. Knight jumps in. And we completely blunder this huge threat that my opponent has. Queen to h5 because we pushed this pawn. Queen coming in with check. The right move here would be to just play h5, not allow the queen in. It's the best move for me. We completely stop the threat of the queen coming in, and we can continue our development. Instead we played knight d7 trying to trade this off, but my opponent comes in with check. The best move was actually king e7, which I thought just gives my opponent checkmate, so it doesn't give my opponent checkmate because we go king d8 next. And then the best move is queen to g6. No. My opponent's best move is knight takes d7. I played king to d8 straight away. But that loses my queen, walks into a fork. So we actually could have avoided the fork here. With this. So we did have a way to avoid losing our queen. And that was by playing king to d7 first, which is actually the better move. Much better move. Instead of losing our queen. Developing the knight is correct. We make another huge mistake here. I thought connecting the rooks was the right idea, but it's not because my opponent has check winning both of them. Blocking with the knight. Again we made a mistake by giving up the rook. We could have blocked with the knight. Keep at least some material on the board. 2 pieces on the rook against 2 rooks. A piece on the queen. Still completely lost, but maybe there'd be some hope. Instead my opponent wins both of my rooks, and then from here it's an easy win for my opponent. Just lose the knight. That was actually losing the knight in one move. Was the best move apparently. Which I don't see how that's possible. And we resign. So 2 games today. 1 good win and 1 loss where we made a huge mistake by allowing my opponent's queen and knight in my position. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.